happen, you also find yourself behind pretty early on.
Yeah.
And again, we have to worry about how much is going to end up mattering and whether or not Godsent are going to be able to get this one done. I think this is, of course, just it's a knife round, a best of one, where I think Havu are supposed to default it. So the Godsent should get side selection as we come into this one. So they can, of course, start on that CT side if they so choose, and they do opt for it.
And now, it's a bit of a technical timeout coming through, but that does seem to have been resolved quite quickly. Now, Michael, just to pick up on what you were discussing earlier on, though, I am very curious to see whether we are going to see the same mistakes being repeated from Godsent initially, because, like, a lot of those were coming down to the fact that Galaxy Racer was going for some really crazy, super aggressive plays, really relying on the aim and everything. But it's not like Havu can't do that, and it's maybe more importantly, not like Havu doesn't have the additional dimension if they need to fall back from that as well. So I'm actually quite worried going into this one. I was really hoping for a Dust-2 matchup personally. I thought that Godsent might have a little bit extra something to show after, how incredibly solid their individuals were. At least they're rookies.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge part of why that comeback was even possible. Well, Lado has the kit in the smoke here for Godsent. It's a slow approach from the underpass here from Havu. Some mid-control established. They still have that presence towards Palace as well. Phelps is honed in on that angle. They're spotting these players emerging out of the connector, and now they're splitting in. Aerial, first kill found. Second player, not identified as of yet, in towards CT spawn here for Godsent. But they're going to have a pretty healthy control of this A bomb site, with Dumao coming in on that rotation, able to get one. Oh dear, Slowy's gone undetected towards the ladder room, so he doubles things up. That could have been a much more effective retake here for Godsent if not for him.
Lado brought down right there and then, and that will be Havu coming out on top without even any attempt from Godsent, and the retake being really possible. And yes, they will pull out the force buy. Again, though, just to reiterate, you can see how clinical Godsent looked, just being able to get all the flanks with slow A, just being able to realize all the positions, and at that point, the individual duels even not going the way of Godsent. So, you are, I don't know, maybe I'm a little bit soon in worrying. It's definitely early days, and Godsent did show us a really good performance in clutches later on, but the question is, can they win at the early round as well? Because their method of madness, so to speak, against Galaxy Racer was, hey, if it's a 2v2, we're going to win it. If it's a 3v3, if it's 3v2, we're going to win it. Every single one of those. And that's not really that reliable, even if we were also saying the exact same thing earlier, in all fairness.
And I think a lot will come down to how impactful Barton can be. He was a big part of why their CT side even saw much success on that Godsent side, how they're able to salvage some rounds. Phelps.
The catwalk aerial will bring him down. That is a very crucial kill to find initially. Phelps, one of the most explosive, aggressive players that you could possibly want to have in these 4 square rounds, and that was something we saw a little bit from him in the previous game, where he was trying to be aggressive, Michael, but his success was predominantly found in the hands of Barton in my mind, and Dumao had a few very key moments as well.
Well, grinding up a lot of time here on the clock, and if they don't find this kill on Lado, when they move in towards the site, he could be very, very disruptive. Godsent have moved more over towards that B bomb site, but the smokes are going to indicate for a faster rotation. Dumao has the scout making his way over. Lado has to hold the ground. Only a 1-for-1. Not going to be good enough to prevent that plant. So still a 4-on-3 here for Havu to operate around, and going to save here are Godsent. Good decision to make. They have armor. They have some weapons that they can bring forward into another round. And while they will attempt a hunt here on Havu, I think that SMG is going to be able to bridge that gap quite fast enough. So they should be able to get away with this one. Okay, no, never mind. Slowy is really, really set his sights on eliminating these players before they can get into safety, and he's keeping track of them. He knows that they're into the apartments, and well, he can of course throw this SMG right at them.
I do appreciate, as always, the decision to save there. This is where things get a little bit more interesting moving forward. Now, of course, we're sort of going to have one low economy buy, but I want to still see what the adjustment is going to be like from Godsent moving into the buy round. One thing that we didn't see very much of was early aggression with the AWP. And I know Jamal is a player who can definitely pull that off. So that's something I want to see a little bit more of. Because at the end of the day, when you're going up against Galaxy Racer, you are technically the favorites. But when you're going up against Havu, it can be a very different game. Now, if I'm not wrong, I believe we do have our odds from our betting partners over at Betway that will be brought up on the screen in just a minute. But for now, Zori has gone up, and there you have it, actually. It might be slightly incorrectly labeled, and might actually be just the wrong odds in general, but we'll get those fixed in just a second and have those out again.
Well, it should be a relatively easy round here from Havu. Already establishing some short control. The end objective seems to be towards that B-bomb site, but they're trying to make sure they don't fall into one of these stacks, which of course Godsent have implemented over at that A-bomb site. So again, going to be quite a slow approach from them on this T side. Don't want to fall into traps too early, but that bomb's rotating over. And this could be a bit of a scary prospect here if you are rooting for Havu, because they could very easily lose out to some of these pistols, and all that chaos is going to make things more interesting. Of course, accelerated schedule here for Havu. They find Phelps, and now Lato's going to show his hand, going to implement and show that this is going to be a stack here from Godsent, but Lato able to get one. The second is even better, so that really makes things difficult here for Havu. Now not having ramp control, losing that bomb, and that time will begin to move against them. Lan's gotten a third, so this is really, really dangerous stuff here from Havu. They really need X7 and Zori to pull this one back. It's looking like Godsent may just upset it.
Martin. Very important kill that he was not quite able to find. An X7 over here. Connecting with Dumao Barton now. The 1v2 moving forward, but X7 perfectly positioned will... Cool. Just the composure on this man in the clutch situation is also something that is incredibly admirable. It's been there from the end stage as well. The fact that he's able to just stand there on default and bring a man down right there, and we do now have our odds on the screen. Godsent 575 against Havu's 108. I feel like that's fair given the map and how we saw Godsent performing earlier on. I think that's quite reasonable.
Now into full rifles. Dumao. That's how they able AWP, and I like this from Godsent. Look at the flavor that they're adding to this, and it is a spicy endeavor. Phelps able to get the first, and it's the immediate response here from Havu. Trying to cut off the rotation back towards that A site, but fully flashed up, unable to get anything from it. And now it's a 5-on-4. Godsent to work around this. That bomb's dropped on top of the stairs. Really bad position here for Havu, and Godsent are swarming.
Oh, Ariel finds himself 2. Now it's only Zori remaining. 2 versus 1. And the first gun round, they come out guns blazing. Phelps, the man who I said was a little bit quieter this time from connector, just dominates everything. The bomb is not quite within their sight lines, but they know where it is dropped regardless. Zori trying to move in from behind. The time is on his side at the very least, even if not much else is. Is the vent broken? It shouldn't be. Yeah, that... Oh, never mind, it is. For a second there, I thought... It wasn't. If that was, that would have been the end of things right here. The problem is there's only one way to go. And which way will he choose? Does he choose to make some noise? No, this is a free kill, and that'll be the bomb that he can secure as well. The smoke picked up, which gives him the round potentially. That one smoke is a huge game changer in the 1 versus 1 coming forward. Taco now needs to come over. He's got himself a Molotov as well. So Zori probably doesn't want to stay too long, and as he's trying to fake things out, just very worried. Taco might have been playing from the chair, over in mid, over in short, could be over sooner. But now, all about Zori's put it out and long range spray. What a way to take it away. It looked like the round was lost, but felt a moment of perhaps excessive confidence. He just thought he knew exactly what's going on. He couldn't have had time to come in from behind. And when that is all said and done, it is his own smoke that does him in.
Really solid stuff, but it all starts in chaos. Ariel getting those 2 kills over the top of the stairs, good, but he was really trying to get his hands on that bomb, and then they lose track of Zori. That backstab, like you said, the smoke that's recovered, everything really playing into Zori's hand in that respect. And that should have been a Godsent round. They added that additional layer to the CT side. They went aggressive, they found early advantages, and they just couldn't hold on. So now it's pistols. Now they've gone for a double setup towards the underpass. Probably slowly cleared. Taco eats the nade. And it's a 1-for-1 exchange towards that underpass area. Rifle can be recovered and retreated here on Barton. They've taken control of mid though, so his access and his ability to run away has really been dampened. Barton taking the long range fight, no, gonna get flanked out from that underpass where he'd been making his home.
Oh, Dubois with the double dink straight to Ariel brings him down. That is excessive force coming in from the USB. And suddenly there is an opportunity for Lado to be able to maybe capitalize. He realizes where the pit player is and he's trying to move in from A main, leave Dumao to cover out any exit. If Lado can find this frag, that would be massive because you still have Taco in a position where you are able to isolate out 1v1s very effectively, if not for perfect parting. So Havu are feeling the sweat down their neck at the very least, even if you might not be expecting that to come through. 25 seconds and they are reconvening the B-bomb site, their destination. And for now, they send Zori forward on a scouting mission without the bomb so that he can distract and potentially even try and get a kill and maybe force out a rotation. But with 12 seconds, Godsent know what's coming in. Taco's found the crucial kill. Can he get another one? And it's Dumao on this side who's got a dink as well. Taco tries to swing and he's just not able to get it done. Havu with 5 seconds left. Get the bomb plant down and Lado in a 1-on-2, which suddenly became a lot harder. That was so close as well. It looked like they had it for a second. You were believing.
And now they're going to have to put their faith in Lado. He was a pivotal piece as to why the comeback started for Godsent. Last time we saw them on Mirage, he got his hands on an AK as well. A flash that he could certainly use in an isolated duel. Trying to find out where these players are, though. So difficult. Spots the back of one, so he knows exactly where they're positioned. But he doesn't have time. There's no kit available. And so he just has to go and save this rifle instead. A commendable effort. And some really good initiative there from Lado over towards A. That's what led them over towards that B-side stack. He heard the steps running away from Palace. He knew that they were rotating over towards that other site. And Taco hitting the shot, I thought that was going to be enough for them to deal with that push. But Havu do keep a rein on a bit of control over towards B. Able to simultaneously swing on both of those angles as well. Well navigated from those last two Havu players, but such a chance there for Godsent. And this is the worry, right? Starting behind Havu 5-0, Godsent, kind of a repeat of what happened last time on Mirage as well. They did start off on that back, much on that CT side. Good damage in from Taco at the start of this round, though. X7's down to 4 as Slowy creeps further forward. Slow on the peak, and it's going to be perfect on the flashbang timing. This burst in towards the B-bomb site has found so much ground, and he's trying to secure a path for his teammates to come on by.
Playing from the corner, gets himself the first, while Blind, of course, had sightlines on Slowy earlier, and suddenly Havu looking a lot weaker. And a lot more susceptible. Zori caught with a smoke in his hand will be able to deploy it, and that buys him some time, even if not a lot of it. But the CTs are not looking to pursue him. Instead, they're looking to re-establish position to retake. Lato makes his way over for CT spawn. And with 15 seconds on the clock, Jemmy will catch the player in window, not quite landing the shot. Repositioned, but what a frag from Barton. Destroys him on the peak. Zori peeks out, will find one. He's trying to secure CT all on his own. Will be moving forward for more. Sees the shadow, and that's a leg, but not one that is shot at. Zori re-peeks for another one, though, and that completely fixes things in their favor. Phelps might not be expected. Zori's doing it all on his own. 4 kills for the man, and maybe they should have chased him down when they still had a chance.
I'm screaming like a little girl over here. Zori, shots on shots on shots for Havu. Every single peak was perfect. And he had the upper hand. That secondary frag, the fact that he missed it, no, not scared off of the fight at all. What an absolute monster here for Havu. A 6th round, and it is absolute heroics. Well, that will slow things down here for Godsent. That was a gun round, but he made it look all too easy. And they do have a couple weapons to work off of here on Godsent. An M4, an MP9. But Slowy, first kill found. brought down to 15 HP. He is very weakened, but so is that B bomb site. This will likely lean Godsent over to this 2-2 setup we see very, very often from teams on CT side starts. And Havu have all the time in the world to explore this map. Does seem like they are posturing up for a bit of an A-side take. Havu, I mean, how do you catapult into control like that with a monumental play? That is really to be determined. These anti-force buys haven't been the cleanest thus far. Godsent have gotten close a couple of times, but it is still not the way of the Finn.
Okay, for a second. I'm not gonna lie, Michael. I'm not quite sure this is live or not.
We're transitioning into every single kill almost. I don't know what's going on. They almost line up for Barton. Nobody misses out on the frags. Able to adjust there, and he doubles up. Now X7, low HP, 12 on the site. Dumao's in with the AWP.
Well, there's a lot of confusion in that round, and not just from us. Godsent able to recover, finally finding themselves on the board. And this is going to be potentially a part of victory. Let's not forget that their money's actually quite solid on them because of a lot of situations that they found themselves in. And, of course, this one no different. Now I'm pretty sure this is a replay, Michael. I'm feeling at least 44% confident. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Not all the way there. Stinger's in the right place. Cool. And a nice round for Godsent to rebound the CT side. Like you said, the additional money as a result of not committing to a full-on buy themselves. And that's all they need. That one momentum builder here on the CT side. Taco missing the shot on the AWP, but Dumao is in with one. Barton not able to double up. He's a consistent multi-fragger really here for Godsent, but still an advantage held by them on the CT side. And Taco making it even further. Now a 2-on-4 they have to navigate. And we know Godsent are good in these sorts of situations themselves on that T side. We'll see if Havu can live up to that same expectation.
Godsent, so much utility. It becomes so difficult for Havu to really do anything in this situation. Zori will find himself some damage, but not nearly enough to deter Phelps from getting aggressive. Some would say no amount of damage is enough to deter that. Aerial and Zori trying to find any angle they can. Zori is overwhelmed. Aerial now alone reveals his position, and Taco with a quick peek using the AWP shuts him down. Godsent make it to 2 right there and then. And this will be Havu with no money, courtesy of losing out that force buy. Of course, the flip side of the CTs having infinite money by winning a force buy will always be that's one of the few ways to consistently break the terrorist side economy, the way the game is currently driven. Now, though, Michael, Godsent have been given an opportunity to start leveling up things and evening up the scoreboard.
Yeah, only pistols here from Havu, and it's a faster pace round. Down through mid they'll go. Phelps already being disruptive in towards the connector. Exactly where you expect him to see some impact. They are fast through, and they've gotten Jemmy into a position where he can flank out this A bomb site. I don't think Phelps heard him, so this is big.
Peeking outwards, Phelps will shut him down. That is crucial right there and then. Otherwise, seeing what happens if Phelps can die in an awkward position near connector, gives up a lot of space and a lot of shenanigans can take place. X7, however, still looking to perhaps perform some shenanigans, but Havu will keel over relatively normally. One thing that I'd really like to see a little bit more from them, though, Michael, is an AWP perhaps being brought out on Zori. We saw how explosive he can be in post plants and that, and where Havu have generally been very solid at so far is actually getting the bomb down. So even the clutch rounds that Godsent is taking away, even the advantageous situations, Godsent is very comfortable letting them at least get the bomb down, if nothing else.
Yeah, odd that they lean away from it just in favor of getting a buy earlier on, but hopefully something that we will see re-emerge from this T side. Godsent, though, getting a handle on things. Always nice that we have this rebound here from them. All predicated off of pistols, mind you. They're building up some cash themselves. Phelps is on 10k. And he could have a whole bunch of terrorists coming his direction. The flash doesn't quite make it. He's still able to hold his position rather astutely, and they're creeping their way up towards short. Havu. Oh, they don't predict it. They line up for Phelps. That is perfect. A spray on 2, and they cannot track him down. Barton swings as well for another. So now a scramble here for Havu to try and crack into this B bomb site, but the timing from Taco is right on point. Zori, 1 on 5, not looking likely. The Molotov even tagging him as well around the smoke.
That's really well placed, too. That's a very specific Molotov lineup, otherwise most of them do just get extinguished. I love the awareness from them to have that in their mind, and all 5 players kept alive, where Michael, I was praising Havu for being very competent in getting the bomb down on the bomb side at the very least, if nothing else. Now, even that is sort of running away from them. Phelps finding 2 over there. You can see they're just not prepared for it, and slowly the Havu side is coming apart. And guys, of course, to those of you guys who are watching, and we know there are certain issues going on with the coloration. Don't worry about it whatsoever. That is hopefully going to be fixed.
I'm going to put my 3D goggles on.
Yeah, that's what people don't realize. The Maze is going to be in 4K, baby. Here at Blast, we do things different. We go 3D, baby. That's what we're doing, all right?
I mean, we're on Mirage, so it only makes sense. We've got some illusions coming on. No illusions, though. Havu taking the connector and forcing Phelps back. He's feeling threatened by these smokes, but not by the player's topside connector. Another double here from Phelps. It felt like it was missing last time we saw them on Mirage, and Phelps is really stepping up. 3 kills, easy as that, and Dumao gets the last 2. Godsent, 5th round, they have closed in on that gap, and now we see another Havu buy. But the question is, do they allow Godsent to tie?
It doesn't look like they're just after a time, Michael. It looks like they're after a whole lot more. Havu still stuck on 6. Zori has now pulled out the big green, and he doesn't have head armor for it. Not that it is too much of an issue, considering the amount of AKs that are on the CT side. I'd say there are some double agents. Now, Taco, though, has gotten very aggressive on short early on. This could be netting a massive kill. If Zori goes down without finding anything, that would be game-changing, potentially. But the smoke is a variant. This clears them out completely. A Molotov to the back as well will be making it slightly easier, but aggression in Palace is where we've got to keep our eyes on, even if it is just through the minimap. Dumao waiting for a peek to come in. I think that's Jemmy who's looking to swing in. The op is ready, but it's a very small angle. You can lose that shot quite easily, so who comes out on top? Can the shot be baited? Can they have the follow-up ladder as well with a Molotov? He's ready to molly out Palace in case there's a shot being missed. Dumao is waiting. The peak needs to come. It needs to come from Jemmy very soon. And as Jemmy is trying to bait out anything, there's still no jiggles, and all of middle is occupied by Havu. Now Dumao waits for a repeat to come in, trying to bait it out, but it's so much patience from the Havu side. And now the clock is ticking down. Utility running low, both sides, but Zori, what a shot to find. Dumao to fall, and now it's going to be up to Lanto to try and defend.
Another kill here for Zori lined up. Taco peeking into the angle. They are collapsing on this A-bomb site, and they find all the kills they need to. Only Barton recovering that AWP. It's a 1-on-4, so not likely to go for it. Of course, that money's so healthy here for that CT side, but you don't want to fall into any of these pitfalls. Instead, Barton actually looking for some of these exits. Does get taken out of the round. Of course, they can reinvest, so it's not that big of a deal, but could have implications for maybe a couple rounds later. I actually think maybe even the rest of the half, I think Godsent are suited.
How many rounds have we seen Zori just pull out from his AWP, though, Michael? This is just a different team, and they have that weapon, and that's why you want to see it in his hand a little bit more. This time, much quicker over towards mid, but boosters come through yet again. This time, it is Phelps being popped up. They like to do this. They did this once or twice before as well. This time, though, the additional player over in CPL ladder room could be a difference maker. Lado is as well. He gets damage on top of it. Dumao is the one with 2, though. He's stolen away those frags, and he's made them. It is Dumao. Nades, utility, all flying through. And we can see it all in 3D. coming
He'll
soon.
do well to get
I'm
this bomb down here if you're Havu.
Oh. Slowly. Oh, what a shot! That is a nasty angle. And Phelps will find X7 sure, but the bomb still not yet to be deployed. Time aplenty. Slowly looking to speed things up, but without a flashbang, pushing into that smoke is near suicide. Instead, prioritizes the... Oh my god, it's time for near suicide, and that's why I was calling it just that. Zori alone, a 1v3. So many clutches pulled out so far. Can this be one of them? Molotovs and the like. Yeah, that could be the difference maker. Bombs being defused, they're inside the smoke. This is not going to be an easy one to take away, and indeed he can't do it, even if he puts up a fight afterwards.
Yeah, it's just not planted for him in that position. And once they threaten that defuse with the smoke as well, so hard for him to win out that clutch. Well played there from Godsent to make use of that utility as well. But I'm really surprised just how aggressive Slowy went for that kind of a play. It could have really worked out in their favor. Pushing past the smoke is a huge risk to entail, but it can be enough sometimes. Risks do bear rewards at times. And Havu are kept away from another round. Godsent to keep a handle on things. Zori with an entry over towards B. X7 on the lurk in the connector. And they may not know that he is here. Phelps isn't in his usual spot. Taco, other side of the map, deals with any pressure they receive towards B, and he may have just found a timing. He creeps in towards jungle and has the backstab lined up. Phelps gone, so this A site now so much more vulnerable. They found Dumao, and now Lato has to really stand his ground. The first kill in, there's the immediate trade, so it's a 2-on-1. Taco on low HP.
Molotov might have just, that might have just sealed the deal. He drops down very quickly, no opportunities to deny the bomb as there is a smoke. Tries to move back into jungle and play from there instead. If he can just find one early kill, maybe, just maybe there's something to be done. But they're playing together so effectively. Havu have every clue of what to do. Taco, their money in the next round, not going to be fantastic.
Smoke's deep too.
Yeah, he might want to say the AWP, honestly. And his angling is certainly indicating just that.
Yeah. Understandable decision to make as well. Dumao has no reserve cash available. They have been favoring this double up setup, so this should allow them enough so that they can consider that as an option, but they will have to make significant budget decisions here on the CT side if they want to implement both AWPs. You expect it to be in Dumao's hands, but given that they have been favoring leaving Taco alone, holding that long line towards the apartment, you could very well see him just looking to anchor that position so that they could be a bit more aggressive with some of these lower buy weapons. No, instead, it does favor into Dumao's hands. Has been having a lot of impact. Two approaches. Two sides of a coin here for Godsent, but Havu have been accelerating the schedule in these rounds. They've been going for faster executes to try and catch Godsent asleep because of how slow this game started. And once again, they'll go for an execute over towards A.
There go the flashes. Lato again blinded out. There's been so many times he's been caught out by these, but no Molotov in his spot. X7's found Phelps in the meanwhile. Lato now needs to step up. There's no backing up off to try and bail him out this time, and by the time the rotation comes in, Dumao's still smoked off. Barton as well, no real gap to exploit, and the smoke completely dissipates, so nothing to work with. It's a 2-on-5. Barton and Dumao. So many rounds brought out by these two players before, but this one might be all the different. Flashbang goes forward, Barton peeks down. A good attempt, but the response is instant. Dumao still smoked, and they don't need to care. And as he moves past, the bomb is planted in the cover of triple flick attempt. Yes, success. No, second frag will be found, but there was no margin for error, and when Barton missed that second spray, there just wasn't a chance to bring that one back. A good attempt, a good combination with the flashbang. I quite like that, but a 2v5 asking too much.
Yeah, and a solid recovery of the half there from Godsent overall. Could have very well ended up in a situation where Havu get 10 11 rounds potentially. They did have that pistol round victory there for Godsent that really helped reinvigorate that CT side from them. And that's the worst of it over. Their T side looked a lot better last time we saw them on Mirage. And we imagine more of, kind of more of the same, especially in these post-plant situations, which I think they'll really feel confident about going into. Something that Havu themselves kind of inversely struggled. Except when Zori was on the AWP, of course. There's a kit and a smoke available on X7, full belt on Slowy, but they lose out on their middle player instantly. Now they have this control towards middle, they're moving towards A, and they've pushed down a ramp here on the side of Havu. There are 2 players in position to really contest this site.
Ariel will find a crucial frag though, and now comes out the sandwich. Ariel's got another, fighting for more, but Taco's good for 1. Jemmy, however, still closes it down, and with the bomb out of their possession and not on the ground. At least not in the way they want it to be.
Oh.
So it becomes tricky, but meanwhile... Phelps, you're being played with.
Yeah, they know
Phelps,
he's there.
you're being played with, my friend. Yeah, toying with him at this point, only for X7 to shut him down. Jemmy and X7 were low enough as well that there was a substantial risk of Havu maybe slipping away in a clutch, but they're able to pull it together, and the question now is, do Godsent go for a save? Again, the problem for Godsent seems to be that they are also heavily reliant on Dumao having an AWP. You save over here and you won't have that in the next round.
That'll be an interesting choice to make, that is for sure here for Godsent. Yeah, they'll save. Full rifles expected, forecasted for the 3rd round in the second half. Only Glocks. No one bought into flashes. Maybe expect Taco to have gone for something like that, considering he'd found kills in that previous round. They do find a kill regardless. Slowy. Did he have head armor? Or maybe that was absent. Wasn't looking at him all too specifically, but he tried to get aggressive in towards B, so that is something that has led to a vulnerability. He had an SMG as well, so that's all that's given over to this T side. But the bomb has been secured here for Zori, and with the lack of armor, I don't think anyone's going to be favored in that particular fight. Okay, Barton, cracks the angle with the MP9, finds 1, but only damage.
I think slowly, there's a school of thought being explored, as Zori will find the last. There's a school of thought being explored that in the first anti-force fight, it's still relatively acceptable for 1 or 2 players to not buy head armor, because more often than not, players on the terrorist side now are prioritizing either deagles for long-range kills or tech 9s for very close range.
Oh no, it's just a double dink.
Yeah. But like, there is this possibility now where if you think that they're going to have deagles, 1 player not getting head armor is sometimes more valuable in exchange for an additional flash or an additional nade. So it would have made sense either way, but absolutely, a double dink coming through is just tragic.
Well, middle the focus at the start of this round here for Godsent. Nobody contesting all too heavily here on Havu's side. And they double up in towards the ladder room. So this could be something that catches Godsent out if they do intend to explore this position. May just expect 1 player to be nestled in there, but they're moving in towards A, and they're creeping past the smokes. Phelps, good timing, but spotted out immediately.
And long range attempts, but nothing made. X7, though, will be the trade, and this is where the smoke goes out from Ariel to try to keep himself defended, but Zori's the one to find the advantage. Now, the bomb inside jungle as they start moving forward. Back to a 2 versus 2. Suddenly, Godsent much more in this, and remember, this is a round that is a must-win for them, and Barton's definitely delivering in it. Almost gets Jemmy as well, but now he's only got 13 HP, and he seems to know exactly what's going on. Flashbang, well placed, but Laddo's already run away. He's off to the B-bomb site, and the bomb will be planted long before Jemmy can even get there. Even repositioning is possible, but Jemmy sees him! Suddenly, it's all even. Molotov goes on, Latter's already dodged the flames, and this is both a breath away from death. Jemmy not expecting the side angle, and he's all the way to short. So well played from Laddo. He has completely outmaneuvered the man, and as Jemmy will try to roll around the corner, it is Latin from behind, taking it away What a round between him and Barton. So incredibly well done. Barton from start to finish, almost giving them the round on his own, but then Lato is just there for the alley-oop.
So perfect from Lato on the reposition, especially as that Molotov came out, just losing the sight lines and the information that could have been available there from Jemmy had he just gone and committed to the retake. But because that player was low, you could completely understand trying to use the utility to steal out the round instead. Lato cool in the clutch, as many of these Godsent players seem to be in these post plants. The 2vx's, man. Godsent seem to have it under lock and key. The comms, can only imagine. Very clear, concise. Strong idea of what they want to do. Very indicative of how much success they see in rounds just like that.
Havu, this is one of the boldest calls you can possibly go for, Michael, isn't it?
A bit of a strange buy altogether as well.
Yeah.
Jemmy's got an M4, there's an SMG.
Yeah. I feel like Jemmy's just trying to save over here if he doesn't get a couple of kills. That's the big play to make, I suppose. And as he's peeking forward, he's caught the perfect window of timing. And this might lead Godsent to believe that there might be a bit of a stack on the B-bomb side. They will still send an exploratory party, but the bomb is still late to the party. Latin goes down initially, takes down Jemmy initially, and as his ammo is depleting, the CTs are going to try and converge upon him. They're waiting for Aerial to come in from behind. He's got himself Kevlar as well. If they can find the kill onto the player behind Chair, that would be quite big. Lato, very low HP as well. But Aerial, he's gone for a different route. As they move forward, the flash is going to be big. Slowy still gets the kill. And now, with Aerial on the flank, and they're completely focused on short, this retake is suddenly, at least, if not possible, considerable. They can go for damage if nothing else. And Aerial, for him, damage means money.
They're going to have so many rifles, though, if they just save this rifle that's on short.
Yeah.
You can see he's always trying to move into position to recover that one, but it has been taken away.
Still with the P250, they have to respect it and go into Aerial. Aerial's got himself the UMP. This is the perfect play right now. Michael, they've peeked outwards as well. Another rifle to be gained, and Aerial's just making sure more damage is dealt. They're not going to have a full buy. That is so smart from Havu.
Containment in the save attempt there from Godsent. Really solid read. Exactly what they wanted to accomplish in that round. They get rifles brought over into their own gun round. Godsent are going to have to make some cost-saving measures. They're on a Mach 10. You know, they're missing out on some utility as a result of that as well. Really contestable round here from Havu. Solid opportunity to try and get themselves a bigger lead, but Godsent are already going for this faster play. They've got Phelps in towards the ladder room, somewhere that Havu like to explore so frequently on their C side, but they're collapsing on this B bomb site, and they found Jemmy. X7 is there on the rotation, he sits at the back pillar, and he's holding on to things, keeping things contained towards the B apartments.
X7, without his teammates and Smoke able to help him out, will have to come out of this the old way, but X7 and Aerial have already fallen. Dory, all he can do is try and get one kill for his trouble, but even that will evade him. That could have been a completely different round. The smoke for balcony failed. It's a very tricky run-close smoke, which has to land in a very specific corner. Otherwise, it bounces off, and it actually bounced onto the roof of apartments instead. If that hasn't happened, X7 doesn't actually take that decommission, and he can just wait for the dropping sound to come in, because there's no way for the player to come out on balcony. X7 gets the time to reposition for bench, and then it's a completely different round from there, because there's so much more variability you can afford from that position. Instead, Godsent are able to use that bot smoke to perfection, and they're up to 9 off the back of it, looking at 10 potentially. Now, loss bonus is alright for the Havu side, so they will have a buy round before the equalizer, but even so, Godsent are definitely making them sweat.
Hard round to win if you're Havu, given that it's only going to be pistols coming into this. Godsent have a round win off of a similar type of buy, but Godsent also haven't made that mistake as of yet, so no reason to doubt them coming into this round. Like you said, expected that this would be a 10th here for Godsent, closing in on that lead. And there's already a plan in place here for Havu. They've got a smoke, a flash as well. They've got a UMP out on Aerial as well, so Seems as though they do want to try and get aggressive in this round. You can see he's moved in close a ramp. They're lining up a flash as well. We're having a look at the console, just seeing what's up.
Hey, at least it's not easy for Ents this time, I suppose.
Yeah. There are worse things that could have popped up on our screen.
Indeed.
Havu aren't all too comfortable. They went for a bit of an A-sided lean. They got that information towards ramp, saw nothing, and now they move to gamble stack B. And this seems as though it could be the right call. Problem is that bomb is making its way back over towards A. They had pulled one of those A-side default players over so that they could make sure that that bomb had a safe path of entry.
Yeah.
And now they're just in the wrong spots here on Havu.
The rotation might be coming through, though. Havu is definitely considering it. X7's position is massive, and he's got the first. What a shot from him. Even manages to back off. Gets another opportunity. Will the third, and it's all doable. Where is the second man? It's Aerial right behind Triple, waiting for them to come through. His trusty UMP is still around the corner, but Taco will spam him down. Re-smoke for Jungle comes in. And a disaster might have just been averted, but not yet. Slowy from the back lines is trying to find a duel inside Palace. Taco is aware of the possibility, but will he catch him? No, not yet. But the missed shot means that Slowy will no longer have the easy opportunity. He'll have to do it the hard way. A straight 1v1, but as Taco is being harassed, Slowy will converge. Taco tagged up and brought down. What a way to do it as well, and with an AK in their hands now. Barton and Dumao again in the clutch. Barton is detected, is tagged, but is not brought down. Slowy and Jemmy want to come through. Barton with one. Flashbang for two, but Slowy on the trade will now move back and try to save. Dumao on the long range will not miss. Oh my god. How many clutches do they have to win? How many times do Godsent have to rely on Dumao and Barton? The two players are supposed to be the young ones. They're supposed to be the ones who are pulled through these situations by their veterans. Man. Those shots from X7.
Yeah, and that shouldn't have been a contestable round, but because of those shots from X7, it becomes all too doable. You can see just how awkward a spot that was for Taco. He was being threatened from 3 different angles simultaneously, so every place he stepped was likely to result in a frag there from Havu. The fact that they all converged. Oh, the peek from Slowy. He went for the short play, and he got the kill that he wanted. Now I don't know where Godsent go. They've been able to crack into these sites, typically with these 5 players up. They're not shy of fighting back in problem. And now they move over towards B. Got enough utility to make this a full-on execute. Molotov placement likely to land on Slowy. Still only 2 players here for Havu. They're lacking that additional layer of information to be able to cheat rotations over all too comfortably. And actually, they may even feel threatened enough that Slowy moves away. So the timing on this execute could be everything here for Godsent. They could find a bomb site with only 1 player that occupies it.
Keeping an eye out for things, but Barton has poked his eyes out there. And then, now moving forward, it's a 4 versus 4, X7. Molotov on his side will be able to find one at the very least initially. Now, Nate won't really do too much, and as I say that, it might have actually gotten a selfie tag, which allows a follow-up headshot to take the man down. Suddenly a much more difficult round, and now it's become impossible. Dumao traded away. His op will be lost, and Godsent not able to equalize. Despite a few heroic attempts from them so far, they're just not able to come close enough. And that one missed Molotov might be coming back to bite them a little.
Now there's a subreddit, quite a fun one, called Menacing Auras. And if there's anybody on the side of Havu that has that, it's X7. Just how unrelenting was he on that retake attempt? I thought they were maybe overcommitting for it and they should consider saving instead. But he really takes that round with 2 hands.
I thought you were going to talk about live stream fails, but hey.
Oh, no. Not quite there yet.
Oh, Lado out, but it's Ariel and Demi who've got this cleanup crew duty down to lock. They've picked up the mop, they picked up the broom, and it's time to sweep away the anti-eagle. Nice flashbang as well, so he should be able to finish this one off. Nate comes into his side. And the Godsent have turned tail and will head for the hills.
Also, if anybody's actually curious and checking that one out, it's actually threatening auras, but
yeah, I was
the
wondering
point still
that.
stands. Ariel's position is going to like here for Godsent. Yeah, Ariel just hears them coming and he's prepared for the fight, so gets the double. Havu keep 4 up. And as Godsent were getting closer and closer to that lead, Havu have now created a bit of distance. There's not going to be a buy available. They force bought into this round here on the side of Godsent. It's a bit peculiar. I think our replay, the HUD, the names are the wrong way around, but main one.
It's a plot that counts.
Yeah,
right?
we're fine on the main one. So.
Yeah. Like I said, that's all that counts. That's all that matters. Am I still thinking about ends? Yes, I am. But hey, right now, Godsent's on an eco round, so I suppose not that much to think about anyhow. Havu as well. Just hoping that this one can be smooth sailings. We saw one that got slightly close and definitely did a lot more damage to their economy than they wanted it to.
Yeah, because they bought so much into that previous round, nobody can afford up just simple utility. Of course, their loss bonus isn't all too high. Phelps trying to distract over at A. This is a double bluff. Here, they really want this bomb plant on the side of Godsent. They're trying to pull rotations. Problem is, that fake hasn't really accomplished too much. So Taco comes out bomb in hand, and 2 players from Havu greet him the finish way.
I feel like let's not categorize that as a finish way. You know, that may be slightly unfair to Finland. I know that, you know, cultural differences mean that sometimes they can come as a little bit stern and all that good stuff. But, you know, let's not say they just shoot you down.
Yeah, they gave him the cold shoulder, maybe.
All
also
right,
receptive.
Sure. Let's go with that one. Hello? Well, they're saying hello in other ways as well. Latin has got out one, and the second from Phelps will come through. Great flash time from Jamal will assist that, but F7 is threatening with his aura. Oh, big kill from Slowing. Meanwhile, from Connector, he's able to get away scot-free as well. Using the smoke to his advantage. He's trying to spray inside of it. X7 knows that the man is very low. Dumal will fall, and oh no, Phelps is the one to get the kill right now. X7 still fighting Latu to go down. It's a 2 versus 2. X7's been fighting for so damn long, and now we're trying to find Zori, but Zori's shown that he's a bit too good with the AWP. At least so far. Will be able to scout out Phelps as well as he moves forward. X7's already in the apartments. Phelps doesn't know it, and he won't know what hit him.
Just absolutely a brawl in towards middle. Smokes all over the place. Players running up middle here from Havu. That's the initial side of aggression from them. And then that smoke towards the top mid boxes just allows Sloy to get aggressive once again, finding a kill. And while he's traded right back, just a little too much. It is an awkward round altogether. It didn't seem like there was too much of a plan outside of go for mid control on both teams. But fighting tooth and nail there were Havu. And now they are 1 away from securing themselves into the playoffs.
Nade going in. Good damage as well. Barton's been so impactful as well. And the clutches, you know that's going to hurt them now later on. X7 though, Ariel will be the one to help him get the first kill. Barton meanwhile back down even further. But it's Ariel who just keeps on giving. But unfortunately, he's getting given a gift right back as well. Lato to take him down.
What do you do now with Barton on 4 HP? That bomb was not spotted by virtue of the fact that there was a smoke towards T-Ramp as they began that initial aggression. Phelps just looking to see if anybody on Havu gets a little too curious towards this A-bomb site. Flash is in, the team flash, but not going to cost him all too much. Counter flash, Phelps is eating them left and right. He is blind perpetually. And solid shot on him. Now 2 players sit in a really awkward spot where they can't take fights all too easily. These need to be clean headshots here for Godsent. They're so good in moments like this, but might just be too much of a disadvantage.
30 seconds left as well. This is going to be so difficult without the smokes, but X7 will just finish any possibility, any questions. Godsent, 4 HP versus 3 men. Things that are not likely to come through, but maybe greatness can be achieved. It is a great shot. So partially achieved, but not quite the follow through. Godsent are able to take it to 16. Havu were able to take it to 16. HUD switched out for a second. I got very confused.